Also, my iPad decided to stop recording in the middle of a question again. Anyway, I got to this. At least I noticed this time, that's good. I'm going to simplify it to make it 2x minus 7. So 2x minus 7. Hopefully that won't happen again. I mean, it probably will. Have we got enough? We might be able to finish this in this part. 17. The diagram shows a solid cone. The diameter of the base of the cone is 10a. Height is 12a. The total surface area of the cone is 810 pi centimeters squared. The volume of the cone is v pi centimeters cubed, where v is an integer. Find the value of v. Okay. Surface area gives us the formula. That's good. Pi r l. L, you need the slanty. Okay, so we're going to need to work out this length here. May as well do that first. Okay, so I'm going to make a right angled triangle by going like that. The base is the radius, so that's going to be 5a. And the height is 12a. So L is going to be the square root of 12a squared plus 5a squared, square rooted. So that's the square root of 144a squared plus 25a squared, square rooted. So that's 169a squared, square rooted. Square root of 169 is 13, so that's going to be 13a. The square root of a squared is a. Okay, that's good. So now I have L, I can do the curved surface area, which is going to be pi times radius times L. 65 pi a squared. It says the total surface area, so that includes the base, which is a circle. Let's just write that. Base is going to be pi times r squared. So 25 pi a squared. So total surface area is going to be those two together, which is 90 pi a squared. And according to this, that's supposed to equal 810 pi. Okay, which must mean, therefore, that if I divide both sides by pi, I get that. And if I divide both sides by 90, I get that. And a is therefore going to be plus or minus 3, but obviously it's geometric, so it's going to be positive, so a will be 3. Okay, now I need to work out v. Okay, so volume is going to be 1/3 pi r squared. What's the radius? The radius was 5a, and a is 3, so that's 15. And the height is 12a, and that's 3, so 36. So, I'll just use a calculator. Does it want it in terms of pi? Yeah, it does. So it's going to be that. So V is 2,700. I've got purple ink all over my desk. 18. Thelma spins a biased coin twice. The probability that it will come down tails both times is 0.16. Calculate the probability that it will come down heads both times. Okay, I'm going to draw a tree. So let's put head, tails, head, tails, head, tails. Tails both times is 0.16. Okay, now this probability and this probability should be the same because this is an independent event that's happening. Yeah, spinning the coin the second time should have the same probability as spinning the coin the first time because nothing is affecting it. It should be the same both times. So that times that equals that, and these two are the same, so I just need to square root that, which is going to be 0.4. Which means that head is 0.6, which means that heads twice is 0.6 times 0.6, which is 0.36. Okay, 19. Simplify this thing. Okay, so the minus means 1 over. The 3 on the denominator means cube root. So let me just cube root it first. Cube root of 27 is 3. And the cube root of x cubed is x. Okay, then the 2 on the top means I then have to square it. So we square it, which makes 9x squared. So that's the answer. B. Given that 2 to the p times 8 to the q equals 2 to the r, express r in terms of p and q. Okay, right. When you have indices questions like this, where it's like an equation that you have to solve with letters in, and the letters are in the powers, you always want to make the base numbers the same. So at the moment we've got 2, 8 and 2. So I want to convert them all to 2's. I can do that because I know that 8 is a power of 2. It's 2 to the power of 3. So I'm going to change the 8 into 2 to the power of 3. Like that. I should really put some brackets here. Okay, now when you have a tower of powers like this, so like to the power of 3 to the power of q, you times the powers. Like that. And I know that when you times two numbers together with the same base, you add the powers. So this means that p plus 3q has to equal r. And it said express r in terms of p and q, so that's the final answer. So I'm going to write here r equals p plus 3q. And that's it. Question 20. Here are the first 5 terms of a quadratic sequence. Yay! I love quadratic sequences. Find an expression in terms of n for the nth term. Okay, let's do this. So I'm going to work out the difference. And then I'm going to work out the second difference, which is 4. And because it's 4, I'm going to halve it to make 2. So it's 2n squared. So I'm going to write down our sequence. 1, 4, 11, 22, 37. And I'm going to write out the 2n squared sequence. 1 squared is 1, times 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4, times 2 is 8. 3 squared is 9, times 2 is 18. 4 squared is 16, times 2 is 32. 5 squared is 25, times 2 is 50. And I'm going to take away to see what's left. 1 take away 2 is minus 1, 4 take away 8 is minus 4, 11 take away 18 is minus 7, that's minus 10, that's minus 13. Okay, this here is a linear sequence, and it is going down by 3, which means it's going to be minus 3n. But it's not exactly minus 3n, because minus 3n would be minus 3, minus 6, minus 9, minus 12. But this starts at minus 1 instead, so I'm going to have to add 2 to make it this sequence, because instead of minus 3, I want minus 1, so I'm going to have to add 2. The other way to think about it would be to work out what would be the previous number here, the 0th term, some people call it, which I can see would be 2, because 2 take away 3 makes minus 1, and that's why it's 2 here. So the answer is 2n squared minus 3n plus 2. Let's do one more in this part. Two similar solids, similar means they're like an enlargement of each other. So they're the same shape, the same proportions, but one is an enlargement of the other. And they have volumes of 30 and 1920. Ravi says that the area of the base of the larger solid is 16 times the smaller solid. Joe says it's 4 times. Show why Ravi is correct. Okay, let's work out the scale factor from here to here. 1920 divided by 30 is 64. Okay, so the volume scale factor is 64. Okay, which means that the linear scale factor is going to be the cube root of 64, which is 4. Okay, because this volume scale factor is all about cubes, so it's the linear scale factor cubed. So if we're going to go backwards, we're going to have to cube root it. Okay, but they're talking about the area, so I need the area scale factor, which is going to be the linear scale factor squared. Okay, therefore Ravi is correct. Okay, whoa, is that the end? Oh my gosh. I was going to say stay tuned for the next part. But, oh well, okay, that's over. Cool. Hope you enjoyed that. Remember to like this video, subscribe, comment below, all of that stuff. Not really, I don't care about that. Oh, and if you were wondering what this thing is, because it's been bugging me, this is from an anime that I like called Yuri on Ice. You should watch it, it's really good. Let's stuff this out of the way. Okay, bye.